Hello, and welcome to this virtual event presented by the JCC's Detroit Jewish Book Fair. I'm Brenda Brook, and I'm chair of the Book Fair Committee. We're broadcasting live today on Tuesday, June 22nd. Thank you for joining us as we kick off Senator Levin's birthday week and honor his life in public service with an evening with Carl Levin. As a reminder, this event will remain available right here on our YouTube channel. So feel free to share the link with any of your friends who couldn't make it tonight. And while you're here at our YouTube channel, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the reminder bell. That way you'll never miss any of our programs. The Detroit Jewish Book Fair is the oldest event of its kind in the country, and we're dedicated to promoting Jewish books and authors and engaging people in the art of Jewish storytelling. Tonight, we're very happy to be teaming up with our sponsor, Wayne State University Press, and our friends at Silver Screen Studios to present this very special event. The Detroit Jewish Book Fair Committee is also very excited for our upcoming 70th anniversary season. We're putting together a truly exceptional year of programming, and we hope you'll join us for the free outdoor summer book bash on Sunday, August 8th, as we kick things off. Visit our website at culturalarts.jcc.org/bookfair for all the details. Our event tonight is a little different format than most of the virtual events of the past year and a half. We'll begin with the premiere of a new short film that runs about 15 minutes. This film, Coming of Age, featuring Senator Carl Levin, was produced by Silver Screen Studios, a production company dedicated to documenting the experiences of the elders of the Jewish community. And after tonight, you can see the film along with all of Silver Screen Studios' work at their YouTube channel. So just head over to YouTube and search for Silver Screen Studios or visit their website, silverscreenstudios.org. After the film, we'll have a lively discussion with Senator Levin, moderated by Harvey Ovshinsky. I'll be back with you after the film to introduce both of them. Now sit back and enjoy Coming of Age, featuring Senator Carl Levin.
Hi, my name is Carl Levin, and I'm 85 years old. And I used to be a U.S. Senator for 36 years, representing Michigan. Well, my father, Saul Levin, was one of 8 children, and Joseph and Ida were the parents. They had come from Europe, and they originally went to Chicago, and then from Chicago to London, Ontario. Then they moved to Detroit. My dad and Ted and another brother, Bear Levin, opened a law firm here after they went to law school. I know my dad, and I think most of them probably represented immigrants, mainly Jewish immigrants probably. They never charged any immigrant for their immigration work. My dad also was an honorary consul from Honduras. He spoke Spanish, and he actually taught Spanish during World War II to Navy flyers. My Uncle Ted was a federal judge appointed by President Truman, and he became a very famous federal judge. My mother was born into a Jewish family, a traditional Jewish family, came from the old country. Her dad was a peddler who had a horse and a buggy and was out in the farm country around Birmingham at that time selling spools and threads and things that you could peddlers could sell to farmers, and he saved his pennies, literally. And he bought a store in Birmingham, Michigan, called Levin's Son Department Store. Her maiden name was Levin's Son. She had 3 brothers. She was probably the only Jew ever born in the city of Birmingham, which was then a village, by the way, when she was born. Because even though there's a lot of Jews there now, she was born in her house. And her brothers were born in a hospital. So we kind of jokingly think about her as the only Jew that was ever born literally in the city of Birmingham. The riot came in 1967. I had a lot of friends in the African American community, and they and a number of newspaper pundits urged me to run for the city council. The city needed to be healed. They thought because of my work, both with Civil Rights Commission and with indigents, that I could make a contribution. In 1973, Coleman Young was elected, became the first African American elected mayor of Detroit. And he and I got along real well. We differed on some fundamental issues, mainly involving the executive branch and the legislative branch arguing for their own powers, their own jurisdiction. We had always lived in the city, my wife and I, and we had always lived and raised our kids in this city. And as it became more and more African American, we stayed with the city. We never left the city. Never thought I was going to get involved in running for office. I obviously ran for the city council and won. The second time, because I got the most votes in the city, I became the council president. So now I'm in the city council, and I decided to retire. 8 years kind of wore me out. And a number of people urged me to run for the Senate. And I was exploring it, actually. I had a fairly well-known name on my own because I was city council president, the largest media market, Detroit, in the state. And so as I was exploring whether to run, Griffin, who had maybe 6 months or a year earlier said he was not going to run for re-election, he was tired. And after he said he was tired, he missed a whole lot of votes. So anyways, I was exploring whether I should run for the Senate. I was sleeping on a bed of a friend in the Upper Peninsula, and Griffin announced he changed his mind. That did it for me. I had a tough primary where I was significantly outspent in the primary, and had a tough campaign against Griffin. Won in a very close race against the incumbent. And Jack Lausma, who was an astronaut, real nice guy, he won their primary. By the way, there was a lot of antagonism to Griffin in the Republican Party when he changed, because a lot of people had counted on him not running. What happened was that Lausma started his literature with his physical description. And the description ran 6'3", 190 pounds, blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, my staff was saying, uh-oh, there's a signal in there. And I said, believe me, there isn't. He's a nice guy. He's not trying to imply that he's not Jewish, and I am. That's not Jack Lausma. So let's have fun with it. And so a couple of weeks later, after his literature came out, I said, well, now my opponent has put out this literature with his physical characteristics, physical appearance. And I said, we've decided to fight back, and the way we're going to do it, we're throwing away all of our literature. We're going to start off all of our new literature with my physical appearance, plump, balding, and disheveled. Crowds loved it because people really like authenticity, and they like humor in a campaign. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . My feelings about wealthy people who try to avoid paying taxes, or profitable corporations avoiding taxes using all kinds of gimmicks and loopholes, all stems, I think, from actually Jewish values. My father always said, if we're lucky enough to live in this country, never complain about paying taxes. I mean, that was an article of faith. If you're making a good living, count your blessings, pay taxes. And the tax avoidance schemes which were used, the Enron tax avoidance schemes, the way in which Apple transferred its property to Ireland, the other, these are the most profitable companies in the world. And for them to be able to get away without paying taxes just shifts the burden to other people, to middle income people. And everybody ought to contribute to it who can afford to. And I remember having the head of Apple in front of me at our permanent subcommittee on investigations. And I want to give John McCain some real credit, by the way, because he was my senior Republican who stood up with me against these tax avoidance schemes. But anyway, so the head of Apple comes in front of us, and I held up my iPhone. I said, this is a great product. So what? That doesn't mean you shouldn't pay taxes. We're talking about not your products. It's the fact you ought to contribute to the society which you're part of and help support you on the way up. I really had very close relationships with my ranking Republicans, one of whom was John McCain. And John McCain and I were really close friends, totally trusted each other, and differed from time to time. We worked out our differences. John Warner, who's a more moderate Republican, and I are probably my best friend in the Senate, a Republican. Another one, Tom Coburn, Dr. Coburn, who's a very conservative Republican from Oklahoma, who attacked some of my earmarks, by the way, is a very good man. He's a very conservative man, but he's straight. He is honest. He's got integrity. He was a good friend of mine. He's on the board of the Levin Center, and he and I would disagree probably 80% of the time philosophically, but he agreed with me on the work of the permanent subcommittee on investigations. Go after the facts, wherever they take you. Go there. Our city's really coming back. I always believed it would someday. Always fought for it when I could, either on city council or in the Senate. But I never thought I'd see it coming back this strong. It's an amazing phenomenon for me, and very, very heartwarming to see it come back. And it's the young people who have sort of gotten over some hangups about gender, about race. All our hangups about either not gone, but we made progress in this country. We got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the Armed Services Committee. So I worked out something with McCain. You talk about compromise and filibuster. The compromise was, John, I'll take it out of the bill. I was chairman of the committee. I'll take it out of the bill, providing you will join in overriding the filibuster, beating the filibuster on a separate standalone bill. And he said, you got a deal. And he honored it. So we got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, but we did it on a separate bill, not in the defense bill, okay? And by the way, I watched as Obama signed the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell on a monitor outside of the Senate while I was getting the defense bill itself passed And Obama said when he was signing the repeal of this bad law, which we thought was progress at the time, by the way, but it was a bad law. Obama said, "Where's Levin?" He said, "Oh, I know where he is." He said, "In the weeds somewhere fighting for something on the Senate floor." And I watched him say that.
And I think Carl Levin's still working. But I want to add Carl Levin.
What a great introduction to Carl Levin's life and work. Now we're going to move into the discussion part of the evening, and we want you to be a part of it. So if you're with us live today on June 22nd, you can ask questions and offer comments in the YouTube comment section below, or by texting the number in the corner of your screen. Our speakers will take as many of your questions as they can, but please be patient if your question isn't addressed right away. Our featured speaker tonight is former Senator and Detroit native Carl Levin. He was elected to the U.S. Senate in 1978 and retired in 2015. After retiring, Senator Levin returned to Detroit, joined a major law firm, and founded the Levin Center at Wayne State University Law School. His new memoir, Getting to the Heart of the Matter, is published by Wayne State University Press. Our moderator this evening is Harvey Ovshinsky. He's an arts educator and an award-winning multimedia journalist with a lifelong passion for telling Detroit stories. His new memoir, Scratching the Surface: Adventures in Storytelling, is also published by Wayne State University Press and presents his roller coaster adventures growing up with and working for his father. And above all, Harvey's a serial educator, known for his passionate support of and commitment to mentoring the next generation of urban storytellers. You can purchase both books by today's guests at the Book Fair's online bookstore. In fact, today is the day to order because bookshop.org is offering free shipping on all orders today. If you've recently ordered Getting to the Heart of the Matter from us, then we'll be sending you a signed book plate shortly. And now, Senator Carl Levin and Harvey Ovshinsky.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you very much, Brenda, for that introduction. And thanks to my friends at Wayne State University Press. Both Carl and I publish our books through them. How could we not? And thanks to the Detroit Jewish Book Fair and the Cultural Arts Program of the Detroit Jewish Community Center of Metropolitan Detroit. Thank you for hosting this bash, and the folks at Silver Screen for producing that lovely profile of Carl. And thank you, Carl, by the way, for agreeing to this. Congratulations on your birthday, but I really want to, more than that, thank you for agreeing to this. I know, and we all know, how reluctant you are to blow up your own balloon, polish your own halo, but you've agreed. Hey, it's your birthday and your first book, so here we are. Thank you.
Harvey, great being with you.
You know, it's been a long time. We've known each other a long time, but my first interview with you, this is my second, was when I was at Channel 7 in 1976-ish. I was a young producer, and in my first documentary I produced, along with my friend Bill Pace, a magazine show called Revival about the exciting Renaissance of Detroit in 1976. And one of the segments was a discussion with you about the downtown synagogue, the second one, Congregation Tehillah, which you and Barbara were so active in creating. And so you probably don't remember that interview, but I do. It got me going, and I haven't stopped since. And neither have you. And in your book, Getting to the Heart of the Matter, it's just an amazing ride that you've recalled. And the subtitle being my 36 years in the Senate, I'm going to give you my immediate reaction. I really enjoyed reading your book. I learned a lot about you, and I thought I knew a lot about you. But I was surprised, being reminded of all your adventures in governing, truthfully, considering your lifetime commitment to public service, I enjoyed the nostalgia of reading the book, but I also found myself feeling a little sad and surprised. Sad for my country. Happy for you that you wrote the book, but considering the state of affairs in our government and parts of our country, I felt a little sad in reading the challenge that we are all now experiencing. In your book, you talk about the constants, your unyielding, unrelenting commitment to what I call the 4 pillars of your beliefs, your egalitarianism that you believed in, your opportunity, your individualism, and freedom. And then you go on to describe, and this is the kicker, so elegantly in your book, your passion for fairness and facts. Whoa, fairness and facts. I remember those. What was your reaction in writing the book? And now that you've written it, it's gotten only worse in watching what's happening to the chambers, your precious Senate, parts of the country, in terms of all these values and North Stars that you valued so much. So much has changed.
Well, first of all, thanks, Harvey, for your kind words, and to the center for putting on a special book fair event. That's the Levin Center, and to the book fair itself for organizing a special event. It's great to be here to answer your question. I'm not discouraged at all. The threat is there, always has been there. The threat to democracy is not just one explosion from some people who are extremists in Washington trying to attack our Congress. The attack is international. In many other countries, the same thing is going on. But I have great confidence in our country. And the confidence is born from our history. We've gone through these times before. In the country politically, the Civil War was so much more threatening to us than anything we've gone through since. And there's a lot in my memoir about the Civil War, as a matter of fact, and how a president lived through and died as a result of a civil war, which took his life, but it didn't take our democracy, and can't. People who struggle to get here know that. People who still struggle from all over the world understand and are still walking and boating and doing anything they can, flying, breaching borders to get here.
Yeah.
And that's testimony about the just how alive the American dream is and how strong it lives. So I'm just not at all discouraged. Obviously, I'm saddened. I'm saddened by the behavior of some of our leaders, including the recent president, who, in my book, President Trump was a disgrace. Since you asked for straight from the shoulder answers, I'll give that to you.
Thank you.
And even that was without solicitation, too.
I'll take it. One of the things I loved about the book was your sense of perspective and context. It really was very helpful for me to feel less sad, less discouraged, less frustrated, because you have this powerful sense. And in the book, it's largely not only the story of your 36 years, it's a book about the history of this country on many levels, politically and in other ways. And it's really a twofer. It's your history. It's also the history of this country politically and in other ways. And your perspective and I miss you. We miss you. I speak for everyone. Your context and your perspective, which is why I'm so glad the book came out. And it's a gift. It's your birthday, but it's your gift to us that you did that, so that we can We can't talk you into running again. So this is what we'll settle for it.
Well, I haven't heard any great threats that I'll have to run again. But anyway, an awful lot goes into the making.
Yeah.
As you know, writing a memoir takes years, and it's something that you put your heart into.
Yes.
Hopefully, you write something that's truly honest. A lot of people go into making it too. By the way. People who give you the background, people, of course, who are part of your lives who have talked about their background. I think of the people, just among the people who have been involved in writing the memoir, who have been such a big part of my life.
Yes, yes.
Including, by the way, Ed Wayne. We got the guy, I think, who, as much as anybody, talked me into going to Wayne and doing what we've done there at Wayne. Eugene Dreyfus, whose wife is on the board, I believe, as a matter of fact, of the Jewish Book Fair, if I'm not mistaken. But her kids, families, and raised with our kids. I mean, we've got probably 100 people who are referenced in my book.
Yeah.
Somehow or other, who've been part of not just my life, obviously, but part of helping me to write the book, helping me way back to get elected. And it's been a long ride, not yet long enough.
Yeah, of course.
We got a ways to go, but we've been lucky. We've been really, really blessed by people who've come to our support.
How lucky are we, Carl? How lucky are we? Although I have to say, I thought my acknowledgments in Scratching the Surface was long at 3 pages. I've never seen an acknowledgment that featured a couple hundred, at least, people who helped you through your 36 years in the Senate. But that's your nature, and I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised.
That's part of the deal of writing a memoir.
Yes,
you got to be.
Sure is.
You got to be honest.
In your book and in your life, that's one of the things that I've been impressed about you for the longest time. You're not easily discouraged. Your cup, actually your pitcher, is always more than half full rather than the alternative. And not everyone can say that, especially if you're in politics. I'd like to have some of what you have. Because we're going to need even more of your positivity, your optimism, your context, your perspective, your sense of hope, your sense of the future. You always were a visionary when it came to the pragmatism of how you have this duality in you. You're this push-pull about the role of government. You believe is its ability to change and transform and make lives better. Yes, but the duality, the contradiction, the mixed message is your frustration sometimes, and it's in the book, is the inability of government to do exactly what it's supposed to do. How did you juggle those balls? We're supposed to govern, we're supposed to change, we're supposed to pass laws, and yet there's so many times, especially now more than ever, we are incapable in Congress to do it. To be able to do it. How did you juggle those dueling banjos politically?
We're flawed.
I'm sorry?
We are flawed.
Okay.
We have, and so we're imperfect. Those of us who understand the limits of what government can do, so understand that it's critically important that you are honest about it when you make mistakes, that you're straight about it. I just can't emphasize maybe more than any one word is truth. And these days when the battle has been waged
Yes.
The facts, just the facts. It's important that people understand that at the heart of the democracy is that we're straight with each other, that our leaders are straight, and that when we make mistakes, that we correct them.
Yes.
And because
Wow.
that's the heart of democracy. As far as I'm concerned, you need a government that not only cares about its people,
Yeah.
so cares about things like honesty in taxes,
Yeah.
paying your taxes. That's important too.
From your lips to God's ears, my friend. But it's hard because, and we're going to take questions any second now, so people can start typing them in. We have about 15 more minutes for our conversation. It's hard because, well, we get sad, we discouraged, we get weary, we get depressed. So many Republicans are only angry. They're only afraid, and they're more determined than ever not to surrender their version of America. Their version of America from, if you'll pardon the expression, their cold, dead hands. I mean, we're depressed, we're sad, we're frustrated, but we have to get angry too. We have to ingest some of that Carl Levinism in our system, so that we don't just we don't whine about what's going on with other people in our country, even in Congress, but we actually try to do something about it. What can we do? Well, you know, they're motivated. The enemy's highly motivated. They're intense, and we're outnumbering them. But that's for now. I can't speak to the future. What can we do?
You fight as hard for what you believe in, as your opponents do for theirs. You just have to fight as hard, and it's not magic. It's what democracy is all about. You know, you have beliefs, we have beliefs. And you just fight for them with all you got.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a limit on what you do for that, and that limit has to do with being straight with people and honest. And when you make mistakes, including in programs, which are important programs, which I fight for, others fight for, housing, education, transportation, you name it. And when you make mistakes and waste people's money, you just got to be honest.
Yeah.
It's part of the deal.
I'm gonna tattoo that on my wrist. We just got a question because apparently the Senate just voted down the voting rights bill. Hello, no surprise there, but I'm gonna remember what you said because we can't let it stop there. I mean, it's just unbelievable what's going on. And we need your lessons, your experiences, your sense of struggle. Because you didn't win every battle, right? I mean, you're not St. Carl. You lost some battles, yes? Or did you win everyone? I don't know.
We lost many.
Yeah.
And they were worth fighting for.
And that's the lesson.
You know, when you think of people near Memorial, you think of the people who have died for this country in war. Think of our troops who have given up their lives and everything that is important to them, their families, to go and fight for this country.
Yeah. I'm hearing it. I'm sorry, Carl. Not sure what that's about. It's gone now. It's been taken care of. Got any? We have about 10 more minutes. We're still taking questions. One of the things you talk about, one of your North Stars, was the value of bipartisanship. You know, the B word, bipartisanship. And it's one of the remedies, you say, to this cancer, to this virus that's infecting Congress right now. And you talk about your need, in your words from the book, the value of and need to restore a greater sense of bipartisanship. Really? Is that old news? Is that, if you were still writing the book, what would you say to the Senate today? What would you say to Biden, who is orthodox in his commitment to what he calls, and I think you refer to as bipartisanship.
Well, he's the right guy at the right time to do it. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that when he was there. I was there with him. He knows how to work out things where you have differences with people. And he is a guy who will fight for what he believes in. But I guarantee you, he is not arrogant. He listens, and he is willing to put himself in the other guy's shoes, providing the other guy is honest with him and straight. That's all he requires. He doesn't require agreement.
Yeah. We have about 4 minutes left. Got any advice? Any tips for Biden? Well, I mean, come on. I mean, he's not Obama. He's not Levin. He's Biden.
Yeah,
and that's good. That's good news. I'm not putting that down. But
be himself.
Really? Okay.
Just be yourself. Be authentic. The public craves authenticity.
Yeah.
And they're politicians. It's one thing they hate more than anything, I would think, is phoniness.
Yeah.
Telling one side of the story to one group and another side to the other. Just be straight with people. And by the way, my daughter, one of the ones who was in one of those pictures riding on a bike in a Northwest Detroit neighborhood, is actually in the room here today. I'm not going to embarrass her by showing a picture of it. If I did, but her name is Erica. And if people want to scroll back to that picture, she's the littlest one of the three kids with riding bikes with Barb and me, and she's on the back of the bicycle.
Now, hello, Levins, all of you, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Your family has been a real source of, I don't know how religious you are. I think you are, but your family has been a source of your strength.
Well, we are,
and your support, because that's what it takes. You can't be a senator and not take it out on your family. Yes.
We're very proud Jews. We're not particularly observant. I can't claim, but we're proud. We observe the holidays.
Yeah.
We don't get to synagogue very many Shabbaths, but if you point out, we help put together a synagogue here in Detroit. We want to put a hello in also for another politician who has come along in the family, my nephew,
of course,
Andy, who is Sandy, my older brother's son, who's been elected to his seat in the Congress.
Yep.
And Sandy was kind of my political mentor, along with parents. But Sandy was a big part of our lives, and of course our political lives. He ran for governor a couple of times, lost, by the way, and a good lesson, didn't give up. He gained a lot from it, and we all did.
Okay. My last question, because we have about a minute and a half, and sorry we can't get to more questions. I know you had a lot of challenges in the Senate, but here's one you didn't write about that I want to ask you about, because I can't imagine your answer. In the 36 years you were in the Senate, you had a lot of tough decisions, tough choices to make. And around 1998-ish, Ernie Harwell, you know where I'm going with this, wrote to you and asked you, he really wanted you to vote in favor of impeaching President Clinton for high crimes and misdemeanors. He really, do you remember this?
No.
Okay, well, you did. So maybe you don't have the answer to this question, because I want to know, how do you say no to Ernie Harwell? Now, you don't remember it, but you found the words. A little birdie told me.
I found the words to say no
to Ernie Harwell,
who asked you to impeach Clinton.
Yeah, during the impeachment hearings, he wanted you to vote as a senator for the impeachment hearings. It wasn't. Look, it wasn't one of the major episodes of your life.
No,
I was curious.
That was one of the easiest no's I ever had.
Yeah, that's the answer to the question.
That was an easy vote. I mean,
yeah.
I believe in it.
It was Ernie. Anyway, thank you so much. Happy birthday. You're a good sport. for allowing us in. How lucky are we to be able to celebrate your birthday with the publication of your book, and just stay as well as you can under your circumstances.
Thank you.
You're
Harvey,
welcome.
thanks for doing such a great job.
My pleasure.
I remember
It's an
you
honor.
I remember you so fondly.
Thank you. Me too, you, my friend. Brenda, it's all yours.
Thank you, Harvey and Senator Levin. Thank you so much for such an interesting discussion. And thank all of you for joining us tonight. Our next book fair event will be at our outdoor summer book bash on Sunday, August 8th, where Harvey will talk about his book, Scratching the Surface. And you'll be able to find all the details and learn about our 70th anniversary season at our website that you can find right on your screen. And remember, you can go to the Book Fair online store to buy either of these books. And while you're on YouTube, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great night.